Today we are going to do a tool called Bruce Tuckman model. This idea originated from Bruce Tuckman around 1965, and around the same time Hersey and Blanchard wrote a book called Situational Leadership, and their concepts were very similar to Bruce Tuckman model. Bruce Tuckman said when a leader forms a team, the team goes through 4 stages, and he described the stages as forming. This is where the team is formed. Storming. This is where the team figures out each other. Norming. This is where the team creates understanding of each other and an operating philosophy and principle. And performing. This is where the team performs very efficiently. What Bruce Tuckman said is that teams go through these 4 phases in that order. So let's talk about each of these 4 phases. Forming is a phase where the team's formed, members are there, at least most of them, there's a leader, but everybody is looking to the leader for direction. The members themselves are not providing direction. They are looking to the leader for direction. The leader is providing directions. The leader is telling. The leader is telling them what the vision of this team is, what the goals and objectives are. The leaders, the members are all very receptive of that direction from the leader. You can't stay in this stage for too long, because then the leader begins to establish a modus operandi where everybody is going to wait for the leader to speak. The leader has to move the team to the next stage very quickly. In that stage, at the next stage, in the storming stage, the members themselves are trying to make some decisions. They are trying to figure out what they should do, and in that process they vie for positions. They bump into each other. I stretch out my elbow and I bump into the next person. Each team member is figuring out what their responsibilities are, what their accountability is, what their authority is. When do they step on another person's toes? They are figuring this out. They are storming. While they are doing that, the leader's job is not to go in and resolve those disputes. It is not to go in and solve problems, but rather the leader is constantly focused on the goals, on the vision, is constantly selling the vision, selling the goals, the objectives, in the hope that by selling the goals, the members will understand the purpose of the whole team, and they will figure things out amongst themselves. The team then moves on to norming. When enough storming has occurred and everybody has figured out what their responsibilities are, what their accountability is, how much freedom they have, how much authority they have normed. Now everybody knows what their job is, what they need to get done, how other people depend on what they need to get done. They are beginning to do that. At this point, the leader is actually participating in the team. Major decisions might involve the leader, but a lot of smaller decisions are being done by different people. Now the team is in the norming stage, and then they move to the performing stage. In the performing stage, now the team is performing very, very efficiently. The team is cohesive. They are making all the major decisions. The leader doesn't need to be involved as much anymore. The leader is in a delegating mode. The leader, in fact, can come in and kind of examine what's going on and go away. The team will continue to operate. Now it is in a performing stage. What Bruce Tuckman said is that teams go through these 4 stages: forming, storming, norming, performing. Now if you get stuck, if a team, as you go through these stages, if you get stuck somewhere, what do? Well, you might have to reset. And the way you reset, you change the members of the team. And when you change the members of the team, you go back to ground zero. Start with forming again. If you get stuck, there is very little you can do other than to start from scratch and reconstitute the team. But if the team moves through all the way up here, you now have a performing team. So let's do an exercise. I would like you to write down on a piece of paper 3 teams that are currently in progress in your company. 3 teams currently in progress in your company, of which at least one team you are a member of, at least one team you are not a member of. So write down the names of 3 teams, at least one of which you are a member of, at least one of which you are not a member of. A total of 3 teams. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay, now that you've written the names of these 3 teams, against each team, write down the name of the leader of that team. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And now label the 3 teams as A, B, and C, so that you can place on this map the letters A, B, and C. You might say team A is in that stage, team B is in this stage, and team C is in this stage. So place the letters A, B, and C on this map, representing where you think the team is relative to the evolution described in this model. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Now introspectively examine whether the leader of team A is behaving in a manner that is consistent with how this model suggests they should behave, given where the team A is in the evolution of the team. So for each team, ask yourself, where is it on this map? How is the leader supposed to behave when they are in that stage? Is the actual leader behaving that way? And if not, what conclusions do you draw? What changes might be appropriate? Introspectively examine that. This will take a few minutes. So I will close this session by suggesting that Bruce Tuckman's model, forming, storming, norming, performing, is a very good way to kind of analyze how your role as a leader changes, your behavior changes based on where the team is. And when you get stuck in this evolution, to reset, and when you can finally get them to the performing stage, how you can disengage. Bruce Tuckman's model: forming, storming, norming, performing.